Hello, welcome to another video. As you can tell from the title, today I'm bringing you something a little bit exciting. And by a little bit exciting, I mean very exciting. I'm at least very excited by this. Oh no, I've got something in my eye. Ah! Okay, so as you can tell from the title, today I'm telling you all about the Ghibli-a-thon, which is a readathon created by myself, Emma and Maylies. I'll leave their channels down below for you to check out. And yeah, we've created a readathon all based around Studio Ghibli. We were chatting and just kind of discovered between ourselves that we were all really into Ghibli and thought it would be a cool idea and realised that it hadn't been done before, so rectified that issue and we're doing it. So that is what's happening. So this is the Ghibli-a-thon. It will be running from the 10th of June to the 16th of June, so it is a week-long event for you to participate in and work your way down the tree through the prompts. So I will pop up on the screen here for you. I've got it on my iPad here. But this is essentially the map to follow through the readathon. So you start at the top with Pompoko and then work your way down the tree in descending order all the way down to the bottom. And then, you know, you meet Totoro at the bottom of the tree. Hooray! Beautiful. So that is the map of how it all goes. But of course, because we couldn't fit all of the names and the prompts on one graphic, there is another graphic, which I will pop here as well, which actually tells you what the prompt for each one is. So you've got two to flick between. One that is, you know, more aesthetic, like the treehouse with the ropes, etc. And then the actual information, which you will need. So yeah, I will just take you through the prompts now, give you a little bit of info on what each of those are. I think I've covered the basics beforehand, week-long, 10th to the 16th, me, Maylies, Emma, Ghibli-a-thon. Oh, there is a Twitter where all of the information is, where we will be tweeting, retweeting, interacting, etc. I will link that down below as well. It is Ghibli-a-thon, but I will link that down there so you can check that out as well. Yeah, I think that's all the base information. So let's crack into what the prompts are. I will leave the tree here so you can look at the beautiful aesthetic and follow your way down whilst I explain what each one was. So at the very top we have Pompoko, and that is to read the group book. Now, what is the group book, I hear you asking, unless you follow us on Twitter, in which case you will already know. The group book is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This book was adapted into a Ghibli movie. It is one of my all-time favourites. I don't know if you can see there, I have moved my Howl's Moving Castle print. It is the music sheet of the Howl's Moving Castle music with the silhouette of the castle. It's really lovely. Jess got it for me for Christmas. Isn't it beautiful? Yes. I've got some of my other Ghibli prints there as well, just while we're on the topic. But Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones follows a girl called Sophie who ends up getting cursed by the Witch of the Waste and goes on a wild adventure. I won't spoil it if you don't know what happens, but beloved story. I have read this a few times. The movie is one of my all-time favourites, and yeah, it's the only obvious choice for the group book. If you haven't read it, you should, and if you've already read it, you probably want to read it again because it is incredible. So, starting off, prompt 1, read the group book, which is Howl's Moving Castle. We can then go down to The Wind Rises, and the prompt for that is to read an adult romance. That is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think you need me to tell you what that is. We're not being too overly strict on what qualifies. If it's an adult book that contains romance, I would allow. I think the others will allow. It's fine, really. Adult and romance for The Wind Rises. And then we also have When Marnie Was There, and for that we've gone with Chosen Family, so a book where the main character surrounds themselves not with blood family but with their chosen family. A close-knit group of friends or adopted family or, you know, Not blood family, but the family you pick. There we can go on to Ponyo, Arrietty, or From Up on Poppy Hill. Forgive me for looking down, obviously I've got it all here. So yeah, Ponyo, Arrietty, or From Up on Poppy Hill. So for Ponyo, it is a sea-related book. Now this can either be something with like the ocean on the cover, something ocean or sea-related in the title, or a book about mermaids or pirates or fish or, you know, anything sea-related. I feel like that's quite broad, down to interpretation a little bit. Anything that you think is sea-related qualifies for the Ponyo prompt. Arrietty is a borrowed book. Obviously Arrietty borrows things, so yeah, a borrowed book, a book from the library, a book from a friend, a book from anywhere else that you can borrow a book qualifies for that one. So again, you could read practically anything. And then From Up on Poppy Hill is a young adult romance. So similar to adult romance, a young adult with romance in is perfectly acceptable, or a sole young adult romance, but there you go, that is From Up on Poppy Hill. Then we can go on to Whisper of the Heart, My Neighbour the Yamadas, The Cat Returns, and Tales from Earthsea. I love Tales from Earthsea, that's so underrated. So Whisper of the Heart is a book with a bookworm main character. I, for this, immediately think of Charmaine from The House of Many Ways, which is the third book in the Howl's Moving Castle trilogy, so I might see if I can reread the whole trilogy in this. But also you've got things like Matilda or whatever, but you know, the main character is into books, qualifies for Whisper of the Heart. My Neighbour the Yamadas, I've lost where I am on this list. An anthology, so a collection of poems, stories, whatever, an anthology, a collection. The Cat Returns is a portal fantasy. I love The Cat Returns as a movie as well. That is so underrated and great, and yeah, she just gets sucked into the cat world. It's great. So yeah, a portal fantasy, something like Every Heart a Doorway, that series, you know, go through the door into the other world, or anything where a character gets sucked from normal modern day life into a fantasy world, or not necessarily modern day world, but you know, sucked through into the portal fantasy world. And then Tales from Earthsea, a book with dragons, obviously, like dragons. Again, very self-explanatory, I don't think you need me to explain what a dragon is. A book with dragons. Then the next row down, you've got Kiki's Delivery Service, Grave of the Fireflies, Only Yesterday, Porco Rosso, and The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. So let's start with Kiki's Delivery Service. And the prompt for that one is a childhood favourite. So a book that you loved as a kid, or, you know, a middle grade book, a childhood favourite of yours, so that one will probably be a reread for you if you go for it. Grave of the Fireflies is a sad book, obviously. Grave of the Fireflies is a heartbreaking movie. If you've seen it, you will know that. Awful. Good, but awful at the same time. So yeah, a sad book, a book that will make you cry or tug at the heartstrings, or just generally pretty sad. And then for Only Yesterday, we're going with an adult contemporary, so not necessarily an adult romance, but an adult contemporary, again, pretty broad. Porco Rosso, we're going for a character under a curse. So whether that's a main character or a side character or the love interest or whatever, one of the characters under a curse qualifies for Porco Rosso. And then The Tale of the Princess Kaguya is a magical realism book. Again, that's just a genre, you know, magical realism, the real world with a splash of magic. And then onto the last row. I feel like the last row is where we've put all of the, like, popular ones, like the ones that most people are familiar with. So yeah, you've got Princess Mononoke, Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, Howl's Moving Castle, My Neighbour Totoro, and Laputa, Castle in the Sky, and of course, Spirited Away, which is my ultimate favourite, my all-time favourite. I love Spirited Away. You might be able to see I've got the print there of the dragon, which I want on my leg. I'm just going to say the dragon and not what the dragon's called, in case you're not familiar with the story and I don't want to spoil anything, but the dragon. So yeah, let's go through those, starting with Princess Mononoke. Read a book with a fierce female main character. There are so many you could pick for that. Again, you probably don't need me to explain it, but a kick-ass, female, fierce, feminist main character. There are so many. And then for Nausicaa, a book related to nature, so some sort of natural element, maybe set in nature, some sort of nature-based magic, or, you know, nature related in some way, a pretty natural looking cover. You could go many routes with that. For Howl's Moving Castle, we've gone for a sassy sidekick. If you've read the book or seen the movie, you will know who we're basing that on. But yeah, a sassy side character, just, you know, a bit sass. For My Neighbour Totoro, we've gone for an otherworldly creature. So, I mean, you could go dragon again, but otherworldly creature could be good, could be bad, but some creature that's otherworldly. I don't really know how to explain that any more than that. Interesting. For Laputa, the Castle in the Sky, we went for a book based on friendship, or a book with a key friendship in there. Not romance, but a friendship. Again, I think there are a lot of like middle grades that would do really well with that one, but I love that movie. Yeah. So yeah, a book with a really solid friendship. And then finally for Spirited Away, the last one, we've gone for a Japanese book. Just, you know, a nod to the fact that Studio Ghibli is a Japanese thing. Yeah, read a translated Japanese work, or if you can read in Japanese, go straight for that as well. I can't, however, so if I get to that one, I would be reading a translated work. I don't know many Japanese authors off the top of my head, so I might have to research some of those. If you've got any recommendations for me on that one, then please drop them down below. But yeah, that is the final one, a Japanese work. So now I've gone over all of the prompts, just to remind you, 10th of June to the 16th of June, and we will actually be doing a live show on the 16th of June. I am not sure whose channel that is going to be on just yet, but keep updated on the Twitter, or drop any questions or whatever to me, Emma, or Maylies. We will all be happy to answer you, but the Twitter is probably the common ground for it, because we'll all be on top of that at some point. So yeah, as I said, I will leave links to the Twitter and the girls down below so you can check them out. I hope you plan on joining us, because I'm really excited by this. I love Ghibli. I mean, I talk about it a fair bit. I want the characters tattooed all over my body. It means so much to me. Ghibli was probably the equivalent of my Disney growing up. I loved Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, Laputa, Nausicaa, Princess Mononoke, Neighbour Totoro, Porco Rosso, Kiki's Delivery Service. Oh, so many. And the new ones, as they keep coming, I keep loving them. I just keep loving them. So yeah, that is that. I hope you have enjoyed. If you've got any questions whatsoever, then please reach out to us. I will leave all the links down below, the Twitter, everything, etc. Honestly, any questions, just ask. I should be putting my own TBR up pretty soon, because like it's nearly upon us. And also, shout out to all of those people that have already done their TBRs for this before we've even posted the announcement videos. You've been on it on Twitter, and you've got there before we have, so round of applause to you guys. And okay, I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!